So if you've been struggling to trade recently, I don't blame you because the markets have been absolute shit. But I'm going to show you how to trade because I can do it, anyone can do it. And this is the strategy that I've been trading. It's basically very, very simple. It's just inverted fair value gaps. Sweep of liquidity and inverted fair value gap. There was a trade that literally just happened about an hour ago now that I took. As you can see here, this was extremely obvious. Basically, I just go on the 5 minute every day I wake up and I'll just mark out these obvious lows. I did this morning where I just come down and go, oh, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. This takes 30 seconds. Look, we're obviously bullish, so I'm looking for sweeps of liquidity and buys. Now, look at the charts right now. Look at what we got here. This 2 minute here was absolutely lovely. We've got this really obvious low down here that we created during London. Obviously, London opened up. We came down, we're bearish. We come down, we sweep the liquidity eventually, and then we come down, we sweep this wick here as well, which I think was a news wick. But obviously, basically, the liquidity is all just this area. And then basically, what have we got? We've got a trade that we can take. This is the strategy that I trade. I trade these inverted fair value gaps after liquidity sweeps. Really, really obvious trade. If you look at this, you can see we've got the sweep. We come down, we sweep that news wick as well. It's a data wick that some people call it. And you can see we've got this fair value gap. We come down, we sweep the low, we get this 3 candle pattern V shape on the 2 minute. Really, really, really obvious trade for me. And then all I do is, I'll wait for this gap to be inversed. I've got my sweep, I've got good momentum, I've got a 3 candle pattern V shape from the sweep. And then I'll enter when we close above the gap on the 2 minute here. I'm sized for about $200 risk because I trade about 30 accounts. All put together in a big bundle. And then my stop will be a manual stop if we close back below this gap. And then basically what happened was we just went straight up. It was a great trade. Really, really simple. Trading does not have to be difficult, guys. Honestly, I know a lot of people get so stressed out by trading thinking that it's absolutely impossible. I think this was an absolutely fine trade to take. And it would have been a good loss if it did lose. I get about a 70%, 80% win rate with this strategy. And it's really, really simple. I literally just sit. I wake up in the morning, I go on my 5 minute time frame, I mark out these lows. As you can see on the screen, I've got alerts at these lows. All of them here. I did have some ones yesterday, which obviously we had a massively bullish time. But I'll just set alerts at all these lows like this, and I'll just wait for them to get hit, and then I'll just take trades from them. It's really not that difficult, guys. Super, super simple strategy. So anyway, this is my trade that I took earlier. So we get our liquidity sweep. We've got a 3 candle pattern V shape, good momentum after the sweep. We inverse the gap. I enter on the inversion, and then I'm targeting a 1-for-1 here, which we come up and hit in about 10 minutes or so. Usually what I do is I scale half my position at 1R, and then I'll go break even on the rest like this. So then it's a free trade, and I'll just leave runners for liquidity. And as you can see, we've created a pretty obvious area of liquidity up here, which is probably likely to get hit. You can see things like this, trend line, kind of like trend liney areas where you've got lots of wicks like this. These very often get hit, especially when you can trade towards them. It's really good. So I just looked at this and I saw we've got the 3 candle pattern V shape. We've swept liquidity. We've got good momentum. We're bullish overall, really bullish. So you're looking for buys, obviously. And you can see we've got some pretty obvious trend line liquidity up here, or just an area of liquidity that's probably likely to get hit. And then obviously we've created even more liquidity above now, which is probably about to get ran here. But I'm actually still in this trade personally, and I'm holding this for... I'm currently scaled half and break even, so I've made about 150 on this so far. I'm holding one runner up to this high, and then I'm just going to hold another runner. Since we're so bullish overall, I'm just going to hold another runner up towards these highs, and then hopefully beyond. I mean, we've got this LRLR type situation going on here, which is more the trend line liquidity area. I think all of this gets ran over the next few days, I can't lie. I mean, look at this area here. All these highs with wicks. I think all of this could get ran, potentially. It looks like we're targeting this on the 1 hour. But overall, this was an absolutely banging trade. And really, anyone can do this, guys. I do this all the time. Let's just go back and find another one, because there's literally so many of these that you can take literally constantly. Just looking for a sweep of liquidity of a reasonably major low, although they don't have to be. It just all depends on the context, but the principle is there. Let's just use the 2 minute, because we've just took a 2 minute trade. So let's use the 2 minute here, go and find a trade quickly. There was probably a trade all the way down here. I mean, these areas down here were incredible trades. Asia session has been cooking recently. If you look here, you can see we've come down. We created this really obvious area of liquidity, which we swept here, and then we've re-swept it again, and came down here with some momentum. And then basically, all that happened was we came back up. This wasn't a 3 candle pattern V shape, so it wasn't as good. I like them to come all the way back up straight away. A 3 candle pattern V shape, by the way, is when you have a fair value gap that's created like this, and then you instantly close back above it. This is a 3 candle pattern V shape. Really, really good when you combine it with that sweep of liquidity. Very, very high probability of reversal when you get that. See, this one wasn't as good, but it still worked. Obviously, you could have held this for ridiculous amounts of gains. But there's plenty of these, and they happen all the time. And it's, like I said, guys, really not that hard. You could have taken this. You even could have taken this one, which obviously isn't as good because you're taking an internal sweep for the continuation. But you can see this one would have worked as well. I mean, this is just a pump. We accumulate somewhat, and then we come down, we sweep, and then we get, like, the bounce out of this really obvious 1 hour gap or whatever it was, where we tap the 1 hour gap and get a bullish reaction. You can see here we've pretty clearly got ourselves an obvious 2 minute here. You could have waited for them all to close if you want to be more safe. I usually just take the first one because I like the RR better, but you can see here this one would have worked as well. Really, really simple trading strategy, guys. Trading is not rocket science. It doesn't have to be so difficult. I know loads of people right now are struggling massively. Sometimes you can even just take a 3 candle pattern V shape out of nothing. Look at this one here. This one was just going down and down and down. You know, we're kind of like trailing to the downside. Is this the 50% level? No, so we're like in and around the 618 area-ish. Is this close to 50% on this? No, it's just this one was just completely out of nowhere. I mean, these are an Asia session, which I don't trade because I'm asleep. Because if you can't tell, I'm from the UK. But you can see even these 3 candle pattern V shapes out of nowhere can work, where you're just trickling down and then all of a sudden, bang, straight back to the upside. You could have got a 5R on this one if you'd have just held it. I mean, these are just over the past few days, guys. This is like the past 2 days. Look how many trades that there were that you could have taken. Some of these, obviously, like I said, if they don't sweep a major low, they're not going to be as good. But you don't really need to be so incredibly prescriptive with it either. You'll probably get a 60-70% win rate just by taking these minor sweeps of liquidity with inverted fair value gaps. When you're in a bullish uptrend, buys work even better. Recently, people have struggled a bit more, I think, because the market was so bearish last week, as you can see. So obviously when you're taking buys here, you've got to be a bit more careful about the sweeps that you take and how long that you hold them, because you can inevitably get wrecked if you're holding in a bearish market and hoping that we bounce up like 300 points, because it's not going to happen. But even on the 1 minute last week, I took a bunch of trades that were good. I'm just going to show you 1 or 2 more because I think it's important to give you context for the strategy. But I think this one was a good one. We had that massive Trump candle on there that we created, didn't we, on the Monday. And then I marked this level because I knew if we came and swept this, we'd get a trade from it. And then look at what we got. Absolutely perfect 3 candle pattern V shape, 1 minute. We sweep liquidity. We create the 1 minute. We get incredibly good momentum back to the upside. I'm buying here with about 4 micros. That's $200 risk. I'm targeting 1R. 1R gets hit in the space of about 4 minutes. If I can actually drag this to the right area. And then I just take half off, go break even. And I just trailed my stop on the rest of this. I think I got about a 2R in reality. Because we were so bearish here, I didn't want to just be holding this for ages, like I just said. This was a great trade. You could have just took that trade and been done for the day. That's how easy this can be, guys. I mean, it doesn't have to be absolute rocket science. There were a few more good trades. There were some good ones during Asia here as well. But, I mean, how many examples do you really need? You can go and look at these for yourself. Really, really simple stuff. I thought this was a really good trade as well. Look in Asia here. We obviously create an accumulation. I really like these accumulation, manipulation, distribution, price patterns. They tend to work quite a lot. You can see here, we've got ourselves a really, really obvious accumulation. Going sideways, not doing much. We get the manipulation out of the range. And then we actually get ourselves a little manipulation leg here, which was really good. And look at this one. This was a cool one. Because we actually closed over one gap and then this gap as well. Closed over a bunch of gaps here after the sweep. Pretty obvious that we were going to go up from here, in my opinion. Or at least worth a go. You can see here I could have took this with 4 micros again. This tool here is actually sized for $100 risk, so it's twice as much. So 4 micros, I could have taken half off it after about 5 minutes for $100 profit, gone break even on the rest, and then just held for liquidity. 3-to-1 trade there in Asia. That would have been another beautiful trade. If you wait for the right conditions, you can trade markets like this and be totally fine. And some of them will lose because you can't win every trade, but you will be very profitable if you're making 2 or 3 R with a 70% win rate. Trust me. I've made about 100k over the past year or so with Apex, Lucid, etc. just trading this strategy. And I don't sit at the charts all day. I literally just go and mark out my lows, put alerts at them like I've just shown you, and I just sit and I wait for these to get hit and I trade from them. And I just did that with this one here. I had an alert set here. I wait for this to get hit. It came down and got hit by this crazy wick, and then we came down and hit it again, and I got this 2-minute absolute banger this morning. And it's really not hard, guys. It doesn't have to be so difficult. So if you do want to get alerts for all the trades that I take, you can get them in the description below. Join the community because it's growing really well. Very, very cheap at the minute. I will raise the prices in the future. But overall, right now, I just want to build a great community and get everyone trading and profitable. So as always, guys, watch the video on screen, and I thank you for watching.